Hello and welcome to Walker Tea Review. I'm Jason Walker here with a white tea. It is springtime. There's talk about the new harvests that are beginning to come in from China and other places. So this may give us an indication of what's coming up for 2013 as far as teas that you may want to check out. Scooping down here enough to cover the bottom, inch and a half diameter for the bottom of my Gaiwan here. This is a fairly fluffy type of tea, so I added a little bit more than that. It takes a little bit more to bring out some character there. I'm adding enough water here so that a little bit will rest above the rim of my lid when I put the lid on. I've been talking a bit about writing some posts about Gaiwans. Of course, a Gaiwan can often come with a saucer beneath that can be a helpful part. I don't use it that often, but what I'm doing now is I've got a little bit of water just at the rim of my lid, just there, so that's good. Now I can talk about this tea and kind of introduce it. This is from GrandTea. This is their WhiteDownSilverNeedle. Often as in Chinese, you may see that as Baihao Injen, BAIHAOYINZHEN, Injen. You can get 225 grams currently for $5.50. This particular one, white teas, your silver needles, your classic silver needle comes from Fujian province. This one is from the Zhenghe village or community portion of Fujian province, and that this particular one was harvested in 2012, March 2012 to be exact, to be more precise there. So that gives us a little bit of background. Now I can go in and talk a little bit more about the dry leaf, the wet leaf, the liquor, the characteristics of the tasting experience here. Let me give this a shake. White teas are some of your more gentle teas of all the teas out there. It's going to have a lot more subtlety. It's going to be if you are used to strong, kind of outstanding type aromas and flavors, this one's going to kind of push you the most to really become aware of what it's whispering to you here. Now there's a sweet note here. Again, it's very faint. It's almost a faint strawberry skin. I mean, there's something like if you smell the strawberry before you bit into it. There's a faintness of that. I also associate it with a bit of a kind of a light clover type of smell. So those are kind of there's gentle, almost like a wildflower or earthy type of element there. Earth, close to the earth type of flower, weed, fruit there in that particular case. Let me scoop out or pinch out a few of these leaves here. Look at them. These needles are fuzzy. They're silver. I mean, they're covered in that fuzzy silver element that brings to the name silver needle. They are, because they are the needles, the leaves, the youngest leaves on the plant that have not opened up and unfurled there. That's what you see are these long, when I say long, I'm talking about an inch, almost up to 2 inches. Most of them are individual needles themselves. I just happen to pull out a set or a pair here. One of the leaves is starting to kind of fold off, getting ready to open up and become its own unique leaf, while leaving the middle, the next leaf as a needle, as it moves up, as it grows a little bit further along the branch there, to become its own leaf in the future. So you do kind of get a set in that sense. Looks large, looks healthy. A lot of the varietal that's used is often a larger needle size, I should say. So that so far looks nice. I'm going to go ahead and get ready to pour here now. So you get my lid over, my picture here, angle my lid over to the side a little bit, and be able to pour just like so. Shake out those last few drops. As you can see, we had light aromas, gentle aromas, not light in relation necessarily to other silver needles, but and so you have a light color here as well. I'm going to go first though and talk about the wet leaf. Nice strong aromas coming off. This is now getting over more towards, there's almost a spice type of element. It's, I want to say allspice. It's got something kind of spicy sweet to it. It's probably the best description. I remember homemade pickles with the brine that had allspice seed in it. And that's the smell that was coming off there. It is kind of a sweet, spicy, sweet smell. When I say spice, I'm not talking about a hot spice, but that just kind of general spice rack type of smell. So it does have a sweetness there. Over towards maybe a lightly sweet cake type of smell, a sweet bread type of smell. And that can be maybe another way to describe this. Definitely sweet and healthy smelling. I got a few of these leaves that have stuck to the lid, so I'm going to leave them and just kind of move them over a little bit. The leaves have, the needles here have become green now with the steeping. They've gotten fairly soft, and so you can see a bit more about how some of these leaves are. Again, nice size. You can tell that they're fairly delicate, fairly tender, soft the way that they, because they are kind of limp now, or limper, I should say. So that's nice looking. You can tell a little bit of color, a little bit of dark brown as at the stem end of many of these needles. It was broken off as a clean cut. It's like it was a machine. It's hard to tell for sure. It was either a very brisk snap or it was a cutting tool of some sort that made a very clean slice there. Can't be for certain on either of those. But you get a little bit of a darker color where that break or that cut or that snap happened to take place. Now I'm going to go and get ready to pour here and talk about this liquor. Swirl that around a little bit. Hold it up to the light, and you get a pale, gentle, very light yellow type of color there. Okay. Again, a bit of that kind of cake batter. Cake batter almost having a bit of almost a vanilla bean type element there. A hint of that allspice there as well. But above that, I would say the clover element and the smell of a strawberry, not necessarily the taste, but the smell of a strawberry is still there. Looking down the cup, consistent color, not cloudy or murky or muddled by any means. Now, some white teas, some silver needles, there's a starchy kind of astringent there, as if you'd eaten raw potato. This one is smoother than that. This one is softer than that. It does have a bit of again, it's a very light kind of, very gentle starchy texture, but quite low in comparison to others that are out there. Middle, and in the aftertaste in the back here, you get that a little bit of that allspice, a little bit of that clover, those characteristics resting on the tongue, and you can still taste that. Along with it's almost the sensation of having eaten a finished bite of cake. There's just that kind of vanilla bean, sweet, kind of bready type aftertaste resting in the back of my mouth. Let me give this another shot here. In the front is where you get more of the clover, I don't want to say vegetable, because that sounds like vegetables, and this is more, it's not quite herby, and I don't want to say grass, so this is still that clover, that smell, again, the smell of cut strawberries. That's probably a good way to describe it there. Okay. Aftertaste gets more of that allspice kind of note. Still a very a gentle sweetness resting there still. So as I look at this tea, and I believe if you want to go back and look, I have reviewed GrandTea's Silver Needles for more than 1 year in the past. I'm going to think there's a 2 or 3 year over year. So you can kind of look and see. I haven't looked. You can look and see how this year's relates to previous years. This one, I'm going to give this one a 90. Nice components there. Again, smooth, not overly starchy, not overly astringent, as some can be. A nice balance, and it sits well on the stomach. Some types of white teas don't, because there's lower in the processing, they can rest differently on the stomach and give us different sensation there. So this one, again, smooth, nice, and a longer, more rewarding, slightly longer, more rewarding aftertaste as well. So come back to Walker Tea Review to look for those teas that are rewarding, that are above and beyond in their rewards, and those that are the ones that you may choose to stay away from.